do tannins, vitamin D, vitamin A, vitamin E have in common, and what do all of these have to do with your skin? So, in today's session, I'm discussing 6 ways that you can nourish your skin from the inside out. Because that's something when we think of dry skin, we usually think of ways to moisturize and hydrate from the outside. But often, the reason that you are struggling, maybe struggling with dry skin, or that you have dry skin in spite of applying moisturizers, etc., that because there are nutritional imbalances or deficiencies that are not being addressed. So I'm here to share with you some quick tips on how you can nourish your skin this winter. So if you like what I have to say, you can check out the simple and effective body butter recipe that I have shared with you by checking out the link anindita.com/body butter. That's anindita.com/body butter, which is a recipe which I use to make my own body butter for my family, for my friends, as gifts, and it uses just 4 ingredients, right? So the first thing is that there are usually, obviously, various underlying reasons why somebody has dry skin, apart from, of course, the change in the weather, right? Weather has a big role to play in that, but often when one is still struggling with dry skin, in spite of trying to moisturize, etc., it is usually because of some mineral imbalances, maybe it's low estrogen, thyroid, maybe suboptimal thyroid function, or it might be toxin overload. So it can be, it can be different reasons, or may simply be that you are taking a long bath and in very hot water. So it can be, and which is drying actually for the skin because it strips the skin of its natural oil. So it can be for different reasons. But today I would like to share with you the 6 easy ways and effective ways of making sure that you are doing your best to moisturize your skin. So the first way or the first thing that you can do is to reduce your intake of tannins. Now tannins are found naturally in teas, right? Whether it's black tea, green tea, white tea, and I'm not talking about caffeine here, right? I'm talking about tannins. Tannins are polyphenols or phytonutrients which the plants naturally produce to protect themselves from insects, germs, right, and other predators. But they are, and most of the phytonutrients which are found in fruits, etc., roots and other parts of the plant are really beneficial to us. But what happens is that when some, if you're already struggling from a lot of dry skin issues, having a lot of intake of tannins can become a big problem. So, so that's the first thing that you can sort of do, is to sort of get reduce the exposure of tannins in your diet, and that includes black, green, and white tea. Right. So again, it has nothing to do with caffeine, so it's not about caffeinated tea at all, or caffeine at all. The second step, or the second way that you can help support or hydrate your skin, of course, is having enough water, right? That would actually be on the top of the list if you're not doing that already. So it's about having enough water so that you reach a stage that you are not ever feeling thirsty, right? Because by the time we start feeling thirsty, our body has actually lost quite a bit of the water. So making sure that you're having maybe 7-8 glasses. There is no magic number per se. So it's more about maintaining adequate hydration, right? And it can be also in the form of juices, etc., coconut water as well. But making sure that you are having enough water throughout the day, not during the meals, but in between meals and throughout the day, is extremely important to make having moist and hydrated skin. So the third thing that I would like to share with you, the third way, is to include omega-3 fatty acids in your diet. It's one of the two main types of fatty acids, the other being omega-6. Now, omega-6 fatty acids are found in typically your cooking oils and in a lot of the foods that you're already consuming, right? So they're typically cooked in these oils, whether it's sunflower oil, whether it's groundnut oil, etc., and they are They all contain omega-6, and it's also found in nuts and seeds, etc. The issue is that our modern diets are heavily skewed towards omega-6 and doesn't have enough of omega-3. Now, omega-3, the food sources of omega-3 are fatty fish like salmon, etc., and even other freshwater and seawater fish. It's the chia, hemp, flaxseed, seaweed, algae. These are natural sources. And in fact, in my health coaching practice, many of my clients that I work with have dry skin issue for many reasons. And one of the supplements that I do recommend is omega-3, because for most people, either if they're vegetarians or uh, even otherwise, not everybody has fish, and so it becomes a bit difficult to get omega-3 from the diet only. But yes, you can look at increasing your intake of these foods and making sure that you're getting a good quantity of omega-3. So that's a third step. So the first one was reducing your intake of tannins, the second was adequate hydration, and the third is omega-3. Now, the fourth way that you can nourish your skin is to include fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A and E and zinc, the mineral zinc. Now, zinc is critical for connective tissue, for building, skin, and for skin health, for that by extension. And so are these fat soluble vitamins. Now, zinc is found in meat, shellfish, eggs, pumpkin seeds, and some of the other nuts. Vitamin A are found in carrots. They're found in eggs, animal liver, etc. They're different sources. And vitamin E, and I think, yeah, vitamin E, sunflower seeds, other nuts, avocados, etc. Right? So a lot of the nuts and the seeds in the vegetarian diet, and for zinc, it's even the lentils, actually, the chickpeas and the kidney beans, etc. also high in zinc, and so are some of the animal sources, right, like eggs, etc. So these three nutrients are very beneficial for skin health. So making sure that you're getting enough from your diet can go a long way in keeping your skin moist and hydrated from the inside out, right? The number five step, so the fifth way that you can take care of your skin from the inside out, is vitamin D. And vitamin D is found in the foods which are similar to vitamin A, actually. So the similar foods, but ideally we get vitamin D also from the sun. But because of lack of sun exposure overall, right, we are all sort of um, not having enough exposure in the sun for many different reasons. And secondly, because it's winter season, and what happens is that we are sort of more or less covered all the time, right, even when we step out into the sun. So for those reasons, winter is a good time to, if required, to supplement with vitamin D. But you will need to check your vitamin D levels in order to do that, right? But otherwise, vitamin D is also very useful for, or required or critical for skin health. And last but not the least is bone broth. And this is one of my favorite things that I do for my family. It's rich in a protein called collagen. Again, extremely beneficial and necessary for connective tissues, bones, joints, etc. So all of these nutrients, actually, if you think about it, are beneficial for many different reasons, right, in your body, for many different, and they work in many different ways, pathways. So it's not about only skin. The benefits are many, and bone broth is something that you can make at home with the bones, of course, of say a goat or a lamb, etc., and also with chicken. And it's something that I make at home, and I keep it. And one pro tip is that you can store it in the freezer, and cut it into pieces and store it in the freezer, and make sure that you can include it in your diet. I tend to make stews out of it, and it's a good time. The winter is a good time to make some stew and soup, and I always put in a couple of blocks of the bone broth. I also add it to my rajma or any other curries that I make. So there are different ways that you can make the bone broth, and you can add it to your curries and gravies as well, or even the lentils if you're okay with that, right? So bone broth is another, the sixth way that you can sort of nourish your skin from the inside out. So the first was tannins, which is found in the teas. The second, all green tea, black tea, white tea, it's nothing to do with the caffeine. The second is adequate hydration, which is in terms of water. The third was omega-3 fatty acids. The fourth was the nutrients, vitamin A, E, and zinc. Fifth, vitamin D. And the sixth is the bone broth, right? And if you so this is the, in a nutshell, the 6 different ways that you can nourish and hydrate your skin. And if you like what I had to say and you would like to make your own body butter recipe to also nourish and support your skin from externally, from the outside in, you can check out the recipe. It's a very simple one, and I make it every winter at ananditarunta.com/body butter, ananditarunta.com/body butter. And I'll see you here again next week.